bodies gain flexibility, because most of us think about flexibility in terms of stretching out, right? So like if we start a yoga class and we reach for our toes the first time, it feels pretty tight and uncomfortable. But by the end of the yoga class, your body is all warmed up and you can usually reach a little farther, right? How many people think that that's an increase in flexibility? Aha, it was a trick question. So what that is I love this term because it seems like I made it up, but I promise I didn't. What that is called muscle creep. Isn't that the best science word ever? So muscle creep is the difference in the length of your muscle between when it's cold and when it's warm. So when our muscles warm up, which is meaning to say that there's extra blood flow running through them, and therefore they're more elastic than normal, then they can actually lengthen about an inch or an inch and a half longer than when they're cold, like when you're, sitting in a chair for too long, or if you're on a plane or working at a desk and you get up and you're like, oof, I'm stiff right now. Yeah. When you get your body warmed up, then you get that extra inch and a half approximately, depending on the muscle, of muscle creep. And the reason why it's called creep is also because you can see it happen if you're sitting in a stretch for a really long time. So if you're doing like a 5-minute stretch, you can literally just watch your body go, and hence the word creep. So yes, warming up is good and healthy, absolutely true. But my question is, what is real flexibility increase? And the answer to that question is real flexibility increase is when the actual length of our muscles from insertion to origin gets longer. And the way that that happens is that we actually grow our cells longer. We like ask our body to make new meat, basically. In the same way that you would ask your body to make extra strong meat by lifting weights. Yeah? Both of those processes take about 6 weeks, which is the length of this whole summer semester, where you don't even quite make it to 6 weeks because of the half week at the end. So it makes perfect sense to me that on the pole, we see about half of us feeling like we're getting more flexible, but in general, not a big jump there. Because what you are going to see is warming up and muscle creep every time we work out. And also that the neurological connections between the signals that your brain sends down to your muscles are getting stronger and faster. So like, for example, if you had just taken up running, you wouldn't really be getting stronger for the first month that you were doing it, but your body's ability to send messages to tell your lungs to expand more, to tell your heart to pump more quickly, and for your body to be more coordinated, all of those things improve through the speed of the neurological system. That happens more quickly. So that will help us with some elements of balance and some elements of flexibility. But the actual flexibility that you're hoping for comes from regular approaching of the edge, as we call it. So the edge in yoga is the place where you feel challenged, but never painful. And it's where you feel like your heart, depending on the pose, if you're trying to relax, then obviously you're not trying to raise your heart rate at your edge. But if you're trying to work at your edge, your heart rate might start to rise a little bit. You might feel your muscle contracting or even working hard in a way that might be uncomfortable. Or you might stretch to a point where it feels uncomfortable, but you never want to stretch to the point where, here's some good signals to avoid. You never want to feel a sharp pain in a stretch. We never want to feel the stretch near the joint. So like your bicep, everybody knows your Popeye muscle, right? It attaches down here, and on the other side, your muscles all attach on the opposite side of the joints that they make to function. So if we are trying to stretch the bicep, for example, not that that's a normal stretch that we try and do, but it's handy in the video screen. We would want to feel the stretch in what's called the body of the muscle. And that's the part that that is the big hunky part in the middle, right? So you want to feel your stretch happening gradually here in the middle of the muscle, the body of the muscle, not at the ends, because each muscle has the big chunk in the middle, and then it becomes a tendon. And that tendon is the non-stretchy part that attaches to the bone. And we don't want our tendons really to get longer or more flexible, because that just adds to joint instability over time. We want those tendons, which are muscle to bone, and ligaments, which are bone to bone, to stay nice and taut, because that's going to help us with our alignment, right? We don't want our knees to do this when we walk. We want them to just move in basically one direction. So when we're stretching our hamstrings or our lower body or working those things out, you want to feel it closer to the center of the muscle. That's our goal. So did I cover all my points there? Center of the muscle. When we're stretching, we want to feel it in the center of the muscle. And the second thing we want to avoid is what I call the tickle me Elmo spot. Does anybody remember Tickle Me Elmo? It was like a fluffy red stuffed toy that was super popular. Like horrible people were like hitting each other in the Christmas aisles that year to get their kids a Tickle Me Elmo. But basically, like, you poked this stuffed animal and it goes hee and vibrates. And so the Tickle Me Elmo spot, when you're stretching, I usually see it most when we're doing like a really deep hamstring stretch. And you'll notice that maybe you're extending your knee up in the air, if this were my leg, right? And you get to a point that it feels like your maximum stretch. And then all of a sudden there's this little tiny vibration. It's like a little jiggle. Have you guys ever noticed that happen on your body? That's what I call the Tickle Me Elmo spot. What it really is that your muscle is at its maximum extension for the day. And so you're starting to trigger basically your reflex, the same as like when you knock yourself in the knee at the doctor's office in a movie. So when your muscle, or in your knee's case in that doctor's office, when it gets lengthened in a fast manner, your body's reaction is to squeeze back up again. And that's what that Tickle Me Elmo wiggle is. It's like, let's say this were my hamstring and this is as flexible as I am right now, and then I'm getting to the edge of that and it's just gonna, oh look, that was a nice sound effect from the construction. That's my body's reaction to being at maximum length. So when you feel a Tickle Me Elmo moment, okay, we get it. Then that's time to not go past that spot for that day. It's just a nice little message from your body. I think those are the big things to remind about flexibility. So over the next couple weeks, we might be beginning to get some more flexibility. The best way to get your body to change and grow is to get to your edge. So your Tickle Me Elmo would be your physical edge. You don't have to get to Tickle Me Elmo. That's like the maximum part of your edge. But to explore it at least 3 times a week. So if you're really trying to get your flexibility to improve, consistency is the other huge key thing. Good question. Yeah, you can meet and hang out in Tickle Me Elmo. Just know that that is definitely your limit for the day. Past there is going to do a little bit of magic. Eat before yoga, I see a question out there. The answer is try to eat more than an hour before yoga, just because it's a little uncomfortable to have a full stomach, especially if you showed up to a yoga class that started with big, deep breathing exercises. They can feel a little nauseating. But yes, some people like to practice on an empty stomach, like first thing, crack of dawn in the morning. It's not really my fan. I mean, but there's varying rules about that. I'm a pro-protein person myself. Any other questions? Those are good questions. Do you guys have any other questions? I'm going to unmute you for a hot second. Any other questions about how to increase flexibility? No? Okay. So we had in our poll, a lot of people, the place where people were feeling it most last time was mostly in the thighs. So that's a great place to feel your yoga class. If you have not yet felt tired in your thighs, I am going to encourage you today to broaden your lunges and to get a little bit lower. So you are thumbs up okay to feel like your quadriceps, the top of your thighs, feel tired in a lunge. We don't want to feel the knee joint feeling tired, right? So like in where is the most like showing you my knee with my camera. So in especially on the inside of your quadriceps, right, which are these top of the thigh muscles, the inner thigh is often weak in most of us. So if you feel this part of your leg getting tired when we've been sitting in a lunge for a long time, that's probably great. But if you're feeling anything on the outside or front of your knee, like there's my kneecap, if you're feeling anything down there, then probably your knee is going past your ankle. We want to avoid feelings that feel like in the joint as opposed to, remember, the body of the muscle. That's a great place to feel a workout. Sound like a good plan? Excellent. You have been lectured at. All right, so the last thing in the magical poll was how are you? And we took a hot second last week to just, in the middle of our meditation, I was asking you guys to notice how you're feeling, but to notice without judging how you're feeling. Do you guys remember that at all? Did you have any, does that make sense to you? Because we haven't talked about that very much. I feel like when I see you guys face to face, we do more of the checking in because I can see your faces and I just know when it's a day like this. Because they happen for sure. And the other thing that I realized is that in our face-to-face classes, I always take time to do this lecture about the mirror because we're usually all standing in the dance studio doing yoga, staring at mirrors, right? And that can be really hard emotionally to not judge yourself standing and looking at yourself in the mirror the whole time. So we have this great, it's my favorite lecture to give about how you're in this class, so you're my student. And if you can imagine overhearing a conversation in the classroom where maybe person A and person B are talking in the corner, and person B, I'm going to role play with myself. It's going to be really awkward. You guys are allowed to laugh. Ready? Okay, person A. Oh my gosh, do you see that person over there? They're so bad at yoga. And like, oh my God, they're so fat. Person B, what are they thinking even being here? If you overheard that, what would you think about those two people? Yeah, like what jerks, total jerks. So do you think that overhearing that commentary would help someone to do better in class? I mean, it really just doesn't help. I usually, when I ask like 50 people in a room whether hearing a negative commentary might help, there's usually one or two people that say, well, that might motivate those people to work harder. But it really doesn't, because you could just say like, I'd like to get more flexible, and that would motivate you to work harder, right? So when I'm giving this lecturing class, instead of talking to myself in a blue room, I like to remind you guys that you would never talk that way about someone in your class because it's just mean. Like, I just know that you guys, you don't talk that way about people. So don't talk that way about any of my students, especially yourself. Yeah, because I think that's where we all get a little waffly. I want to just remind you guys that talking that way about yourself is an absolute waste of energy, and it's so unkind, and you don't deserve it, and it doesn't help you. What does help you is to say, I want to get stronger today, or I want to breathe more consistently throughout my class today, or I'd really just like to feel like I'm in a better mood. Yeah? So please remember that. And And also that it's okay to come to class or to your practice feeling like absolute crap. It's okay to show up miserable and 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 to just like have the urge to feel all those things, but that you have a choice to decide to be compassionate to yourself, to decide to be kind to yourself. And if you notice that you're not doing your best, it's okay to just forgive it. Does that make sense? And to let that go and just try and have fun. So that's my wish for us today. Sound good? Okay. Shall we yoganate? All right. Okay, I'm going to turn on the music. Here we go, my friends. Boop. What shall we listen to first? Oh, I have all of the fast songs coming up quick today. Here we go. That should do. All right, let's find our easy pose. Let yourself breathe and feel tall. And exhale all the way. And decide what it is that you'd like today that will make you feel better and more whole. Today, do you want to work on lengthening your breath? Do you want to work on strength? Do you want to work on getting deeper towards your edge in stretches? Let those shoulders drop behind you. And inhale, lengthen your spine up into your fullest, kindest self. Exhale, letting your hip sockets and shoulders release. Let's go ahead and breathe on in with the arms. And exhale down the center. I'm going to switch your screen view so you can see me. There we go. Big breath in. Big exhale. Roll it down center. Two more big breaths. And let your spine ripple forward. Getting deeper with each exhale. Maybe finding a little more space in the hip sockets as you inhale. And inhale, roll it up. Exhale, leaning over to your right. Let's go ahead and circle the arm right away. Big breath in. Exhale, shoulders back. Inhale up. Exhale, open. Up and over. Come on up center. Lift those shoulders up to your ears for a second. Just reach one side and the other. And then exhale, drop them down your back. Open your heart forward. Let your arms sneak behind your pelvis and spread those ribs out. And take a moment before you rise up and nod your head here. Just a big yes. Feel how when your chin goes down, you make at least 17,000 extra chins. And find a place in the middle where you're making maybe 1.5 chin, your normal chin, and a little bit of extra chinness because you're slightly tucking. But the back of your neck feels nice and long, like someone's pulling your ears away from your shoulders. From there, option to lift the pelvis. In this position, press your fingers and knuckles into the earth. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, let your pelvis come down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, curve that spine, bend those knees. Before we go on to this other side, we're gonna roll down. 3, 2, 1, and rise. And 3, and 2, and 1. And rise, keep pulling your belly button in towards your spine. Keep relaxing your shoulders. 2, 1, and rise. 2, 1, and rise. All the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, curve it up. Oh goodness, it's getting hard with this baby bump. Rise up. And exhale all the way down. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, curve it up. You can use your thighs to help yourself up and rise. And one more time, all the way down, all the way up. Inhale as you stretch. Exhale, curve it up. And rise. And go ahead and cross your legs again. Sitting up in your easy pose. Reach out with your heart halfway. So we're just going to come to a nice diagonal back. Shrug those shoulders up for a second, and then exhale, anchor your shoulders down your back, lifting in through that belly lock just a little bit, lean out, slight tuck of the chin just so the back of your neck feels long. Press down in your knees and your buns and your thighs into the earth, and find a place where you feel really engaged. Are your arms drifting forward or up? Can you anchor them down and lift them up by your ears? Keep pressing those legs wide. Slightly tuck your tail so your lower back is flat. One more breath. And melt to the floor. Go ahead and circle to your left, inhaling leftwards. Open flat to the side, lift up to the back, exhale to the right, gently forward. Great big circles. One more time. And then we'll switch directions at the front. Landing and circling the arm on the other side. The biggest, juiciest, most delicious breaths you can handle. Come on down front. Reach out to come up. Take those elbows behind you and place your hands at the top of your rib cage. Pull your bellies in, drop your tailbone to upright, and see if you can lean just your upper back up with a slightly tucked chin, anchored shoulders, and then reach out on the diagonal with both hands. So the back of your neck and your arms are making the two angles of a letter Y. Y. Anchor those shoulders down. Release your hip sockets. Let your core do the effort. Big breath in. Come on up. Slide those hands halfway back behind you, fingertips forward, and curl your tailbone. And just take a moment to walk your hands back, opening up the front of the shoulders and also the lower back and your hip sockets by letting them drape a little bit. Slide those legs out, lifting yourself up. Walk your buns out to the sides a little bit. And just take a moment. Go ahead and put your hands on your pelvis to curve and lift. You can bend your knees, curve and lift. And then we're going to take a big breath in, lifting up through the belly. Legs are parallel, knees are up. Soft knees as you do your first forward fold. And notice how flexible you are now while we're not yet warm. Where do your hands go? They probably don't go here unless you did a bunch of dance and can-can. Where are you starting at today? Do you feel this stretch a lot in your upper back? And if so, can we bend our knees some more and send our lower back and waist forward? You can also try walking your hips back. Just one more breath here. And we're going to lift up. We're going to take our left leg in behind the shoulder. We're going to interlace our hands around that foot. And we're going to find our way to sitting up nice and tall. So for me, I got to roll my shoulders back, think about my lower back, and we're going to wake up this leg. So I'm big breath in. I'm going to pull my foot back. Exhale, I'm going to press it forward with resistance in my arms. Inhale, flex those biceps, pull the shoulders down, pull your foot back in. Exhale it out. Push as hard as you can into those arms, but anchor your shoulders down. Push, 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 and pull it back one last time. Let it go. Grab your other foot. Interlace those hands. Shoulders down. Find all the way upright. Take your time there. Might take a moment to find upright. Pull that knee under your armpit. Exhale into the hands. Inhale, pull it back. Doesn't matter if it gets all the way straight. You're just creating heat by creating resistance. And pull it, pull it, pull it, pull it. Sit up taller, taller, taller. And push. And release. Good. Soles of your feet together. Rise up on top of your sits bones. And let yourself come down in Baddha Konasana right in the middle. Drop your head. See if you can release those knees a little bit closer to the floor. It's okay if it's really high up and tight. As long as you're feeling your hip sockets and your inner thighs stretching, then you're doing it right for your body. Gently roll your body up. Bring your feet in. Find yourself in the middle. And this time we are going to do our starting squat with wide knees, aka Malasana. So let your heels be underneath each sits bone, so underneath your hip sockets. And let yourself rock a little bit here. And when you're ready, toes underneath your hips. Go ahead and leave your fingertips on the floor for just a second and pull your knees open using the external rotator. So under your buns are the muscles that pull your knees open. So just go pull and release, pull and release, pull and release, pull and release. See if you can find your balance, pulling those knees open, knees and toes straight, tree sides, same direction. Can you press the floor just slightly away and feel all of those thigh muscles trigger? Whew, that makes you feel alive. Press, 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 hover, 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 big breath in. Find the floor, turn your knees and toes forward to roll yourselves up. Take your time here. Take like 3 breaths. Let it be totally juicy. I'm going to adjust the camera. Roll up, stacking your spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Let it feel fun. And at the top, let your arms rise. Bring those knees and toes all the way together. Smash them together, hold them together, and sit your tailbone back. Looking down. Make sure your knees haven't passed your toes. Whoop. So keep letting your buns go back. And then see how my shoulders are way far forward? I want to get out of that habit. So I'm going to lift up from my belly button and try to pull my shoulders back over a nice long pair of hips. Big breath in, lift it up. Exhale, smelt it forward to your forward fold. Knees stay bent. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, soften. Bend those knees, roll it up. Shift your weight into your right leg and grab your left leg behind you. If you have something to touch to hold on for balance, that's great. Notice that as we pull this left leg back, our backs want to all just give in and arch here. So instead, we're going to lift up through the belly and try to tuck the tailbone underneath. If you can grab with both hands, your balance is feeling good, that's great. And let your consciousness flow down into your standing foot. Can you feel like all of your toes and the heel and the ball of the foot are all touching the ground at once? Shoulders down. We're going to release your right hand and lift it up in the sky. And we're going to exhale and we're going to point our left knee back. Just a little tip. If you have something to hold on to, feel free to hold on to something. Pull those abs in as you lean out. Come back up. Release that foot and step it back to high lunge. Check that pelvis. Rotate your hips underneath. Here's your moment. If you do not yet feel this bent leg firing, step your feet apart. Boop, 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 boop. Press your rear heel back in space. And wrap that hip closed. Big breath in, let your arms float up. And exhale. Fold your wings behind yourself. You can just do the arms today if that's what feels good for you, or if you're feeling feisty, dive your whole chest down to the ground. Come up with the arms and open it as you wipe your palms down to either side. 2 more breath cycles. Reach those arms forward. Separate to the front and the back as you find the floor for Chaturanga Vinyasa. Coming back to your downward dog. Your choice. What do you want to do with your downward dog today? Are you in the mood to walk it? To not walk it? Whatever you feel like is what your body needs, let your body have that. Give it a gift. Big, giant breaths. Bring those feet together. Bend your left leg. Open the hips today. We're going to leave the left leg closed. Try and keep your left shoulder down. And we're going to close the hips and bring the thigh to your chest. Just that. Thigh opens to the back. Open your hips. Keep your shoulders square. Thighs close. And tuck your nose to your knee. Thigh goes back. Here's our last time. Hips open. Extend that leg with open hips. Square your chest again. Square the hips. So you're bringing your left hip in line with your right hip. Press through those fingers. Lift up as your knee passes underneath yourself to step into your high lunge. All right, here we are, high lunge with your left knee forward. Take a moment to glance down at this front knee and make sure that it's pointed in the same direction as the toe, just like we always do. Rotate your tailbone down to the earth, lifting up your abdomen, and stretch through the back heel. So you are trying to straighten your back leg, but it's more important to straighten your lower back. Open those wings to the sides. Big breath in. And rotate from your right hip socket all the way in to close that high lunge as you revolve towards your front leg. Check on this front knee. Has it fallen out a little bit maybe? Can we keep it a little bit more forward? Big breath in. Your right hand is going down to the ground. Rotate your chest a little bit more. Sneak that lunge a little wider if you can. Anchor your shoulder blades down your back. We're gonna step together. If you'd like, you can try putting both hands down on the floor and lifting that back leg up behind you. I'm running out of room. On your way to the front. Your choice. Find your forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, soften knees. Inhale, rise to the front. Shifting into your left leg, we're going to grab the right leg. And first start out by finding our long torso. So we're lifting up in the abdomen, we're dropping the tailbone, anchoring the shoulders down, engaging the abdominal wall. If you have a wall or you want a little help with your balance, feel free to use it. Feeling the stretch in the front of your quadriceps on the right leg. And then leaning that back knee back, press steadily down into your standing leg to tip the body forward. Keeping the hips square. Rising up by lengthening your head. Squeeze those hips square for balance. Release the foot. Inhale. Open your chest like you're just pouring water over your heart. Big breath in. Exhale, lean forward. Inhale, arch halfway. And step back your right leg to your high lunge on the right side. And start with your version of arms today, whatever you feel like doing. Keeping your back long as the priority. You can dive that chest all the way down to the floor. One more breath. Let those hands come on down to the earth. Back to your plank. Inhale up through your cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale down. Back up to your downward dog. Whatever feels good in your downward dog today. Hands are pointing straight forward. I'm going to come square so you can see what I mean by opening the hips. Shoulders are rotated back. Your right knee is going to stay bent as it comes up first. And your hip should be at the same height. So don't lift that hip up to get your leg higher at first. There's your square hips. And then we're going to open the knee and the hips. So now your right hip is higher than your left. But notice that your right shoulder wants to go too, and resist that urge by pressing evenly into both hands. Close the knee, square the hips, curl your butt and tuck your nose to your knee. Exhale, thighs together, square hips. Inhale, knee back, and then open. Hips close as you exhale, bring the knee in. And inhale, tuck. Exhale, hips together. Lift thigh, inhale, open. One more time. And step it through. Find your square hip front, high lunge. Build that foundation with tailbone and abs, knee over toe, back heel back. Inhale those arms up and you're ready. Anchor your shoulders down, reach wide. Big breath in. Close the left hip towards the right thigh. Find your breath. And take your left hand down. See if you can get your shoulders square on top of each other. It's pretty common. I'm going to scoop my foot out. It's pretty common for people's arms to go further than their shoulders. Yes? So instead, think about your rib cage rotating and your shoulders anchored back. And it's okay if it's not straight vertical. Yield a little bit to gravity. Let your hips go a little lower. Keep anchoring those shoulders down. Both hands to the mat. Step it together. If you want to pass through your Hanuman or your splits, you can. Find your forward fold. Walk it out wide today so your forward fold is as wide as your mat. Soften those knees just a little bit. Grab the opposite arms and just enjoy a sway. Nice. Release that. Let your heels and toes come back to parallel first position. Legs together, mountain. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, dip the hips to rise up. Good job. Coming back to the front of your mat. Inhaling up. We're going to find our left foot again. If you want to hold on, you can, but it's not mandatory. We're going to take a big breath in. We're going to think about those open versus closed hips. Keep them parallel and push your foot into your hand. Push your foot into your hand. Notice how your hips want to open right on up, but don't let them. Keep them square. You know that means your leg will be a little lower, and that's okay. Keep your gaze front. Pushing that foot into your hand. Lengthening the lower back by using your abdomen. Bring it home. Switching to the other side. Oh, sorry. You can probably hear my hair getting caught in that microphone. I apologize. Other side, so you're grabbing your right foot. You're lifting up through that abdomen. Shoulders down. If you don't have anything to hold on to, just pretend. Lift your arm up in the air. Use that full arm anchored down to press into the horizon. Square your hips and press your right foot into your right hand. Gazing out and forward. Keep wrapping that right hip closed and lifting up through your belly to square those hips. Release. Beautiful. Coming forward. We're going to grab lefty again. Big breath in again. You're either going to repeat the same squared action, or this time, if you'd like, you can also lean out. Keep those hips square and your gaze nice and forward. Stepping back to warrior one. Big breath in. Remember, warrior one is your back leg out at the 45-degree angle, but your hips and shoulders are still square to the front. Big breath in. We're going to take our hands together. We're going to twist towards the forward leg. Try and put your elbow on that knee if you can. Whoop. Here goes our microphone. And revolve into your thigh. Taking this elbow that's on this knee of this forward bent knee, you're going to make a fist with that hand and press onto it with your other leg. So you're in a revolved warrior one. Inhale, unwind that. Cartwheel your arms all the way open into your warrior two. Take a moment. Check on your warrior two. Is your knee over your foot? Are your hips square? Boop, boop, boop. Warrior two, we're at a 90-degree angle from this foot to that foot. And our gaze is forward off the front foot. Settle on in. Take a big breath. Let your arms float up. Exhale, pull your bent right knee, right arm, your right elbow down into that right knee. And then lean your whole torso deeper into that stretch. So now we're in the side angle pose. Big breath in, circle the arm. You will probably feel some sensations in this right thigh while we're doing this. Try to let them be felt and acknowledged as sensations, but without getting too wrapped up in judging them. Notice I'm using neutral terms to think about sensations in that thigh. Stay bent leg. Cartwheel your arms up and away, reaching up. Bring it back to warrior two. Straighten that front leg. Turn both legs to the side and forward fold, wide angle. Let your chest release. Option for dolphin in wide angle here. Walk your arms back, bend your knees, walk your feet in halfway, roll up, turning back towards the leg that was just bent, step it together, pull that knee to your chest and balance. So this is still your left leg. Drop your hips to the right into that standing leg to help you balance. So you're lifting up that left leg, but you're going to think about dropping your hips to the right. Holding on is fine. Put your whole foot onto the floor. So I notice that my standing foot wants to roll out towards my pinky toe, but I'm going to actively press my big toe down to balance that. Release that foot. Here we go, other side. Right leg back. Big breath in, square body. Exhale, press that hand down. Pressing your knee back. Stretching it out. Your choice if you're leaning forward here, but keep wrapping your right hip into your left thigh. Stepping back to warrior one. Square those hips. Big breath in. And twist, elbow across the body. You can press into that fist if you like to get a deeper twist. And we're going to inhale up and open out to your warrior two. Shift your knee over that toe and sway your pelvis side to side until it opens back up into that warrior two, nice and flat. Dropping the tailbone, spreading the arms, gazing out onto the horizon. Sinking into your fullest expression. Can you find your edge here? Warrior two is our first photo of the day. Show me your edgy warrior two. Big breath in. Take those elbows down to the bent knee. Come to side angle. Notice your body probably wants to roll closed in side angle. Instead, think about rolling open that hip, pressing this bottom hip forward, and getting both shoulders and both hips all on one line. You can even try it against a wall. Acknowledge your left thigh without judgment, but witness it. Couple circles of the breath, feeling that strength building in your left thigh. And stay bent leg as you revolve back. Big breath in, back to warrior two. You get to straighten that leg. Turn everything to the side of your mat. Heel toe it forward and into your wide forward fold. Take a moment in your wide forward fold to shift side to side in a way that feels pleasurable and opening to your hamstrings. And as you get into your deep version of this stretch, you can walk your hands back. But remember, we want to keep this stretch in the body of the muscle, not behind the knees, not behind the place where your thighs attach to your buttocks. So you want the stretch to be in the center of the back of the thigh. And if you are feeling it too high or too low, bend those knees a little bit to give your thigh muscles a little bit more slack. Let yourself have a great big juicy release and use your breath to make it feel even better. If you'd like, you can walk your arms forward, find your dolphin arms, and just practice pushing your whole body away from the elbows to the pinkies. So I'm letting my shoulders drop back and then pushing my elbows and pinkies into the arms. If you'd like to walk your legs towards your hips, you can do that as well. If you have a handy wall around, you can use your wall. Totally optional. You can just hang out in your dolphin wide angle as well. And walk yourself back to the earth. Take those knees down to the floor and come to all fours. Shrug those shoulders a few times. So shoulder push-ups. You're letting your shoulder blades come together and separate. Holding your bellies in. And taking your arms back down to the earth. Pressing away. And then walk your fingertips all the way forward. I'm running out of camera here so that you're in your down puppy's pose. So you have bent knees, super bent hips. Walk your heart forward and see if you can open your armpits. This is your pose number 3. Gently use your hands to walk yourself back so that you're back in your child's pose. Your knees can be together or apart, your choice. And take your hands behind your back. Walk them up as far as you can. And let your elbows drape down. You can be on your forehead, chin forward, or face to the side. If you can, place your hands in reverse namaste. Letting those shoulders stretch. Release your palms. Roll up. Come on forward. We're going to sit and find that foot again. Wrap your hand underneath your foot and press it out to the side. So I'm also using this other hand on my knee to help pull myself upright. I'm sure somebody here must be able to put their foot over their head. Certainly not happening for me at the moment. One of the tricks is that it's not up and over to get there, it's actually around the back. So play for a little bit with yourself with just moving that leg open and closed. And seeing if you can sneak an elbow underneath. Release that foot. And play with your other side. Across the body, opening the body. Lifting it up. Anchor your shoulders down as you do. And our last fun attempt, can you hold them both and balance? Part of balancing is happening by pulling your shoulders down and pressing your buns backwards behind you, so you're engaging your back. Let those feet come back together. Slide those legs out, jiggle them out, jiggle everything out. And take a moment to see if there's anything else that you want to make sure you stretch as I switch the songs. Do, do, do. If you guys want to check in one more time, go for it. Do, do. Yay! And then when you come back from checking in, let's all lay down on the floor and get settled. Yay! I'll adjust my camera while I'm at it. Come on into your Shavasana pose, whatever it's going to be today. And you always have the choice. If you're feeling your lower back is tired, you can always stay with your legs. Maybe I should show you this direction so you can see a little better. So if I'm going to do Shavasana with my legs bent, then I move my feet to outside of my hips and I let my knees knock together. And that way the weight of my legs falls inward and it's not pulling my lower back off the floor. So that's an alternate to the straight out Shavasana that you're always welcome to. Go ahead and take your right knee in and softly wiggle it right and left and right and left. And slide it out along the floor and notice whether you feel any tightness in those hip flexors today, because we did some big hip openers. And notice whether you feel your hips tipping right to left. Any of those shapes that we talked about earlier, how does your body feel now? Rock your hips. So you're lifting your lower back and curving it a couple of times. And then go ahead and bring righty in so the foot's on the floor and pull lefty to the center. Feel how when you pull your thigh into your chest, your lower back naturally presses into the earth. And try and hold that position as you slide your left leg slowly along. And take a little inventory of how your left hip flexor feels. Is one leg perhaps feeling looser than the other? That's pretty normal. Find your breath, rock those pelvises. Sigh and pull your thighs into your chest. And go ahead and rock side to side with both knees. into your chest. Let your neck and shoulders release, and let your legs come up in the air, and draw those thighs into your chest. So you're doing a forward fold, but now your back's on the floor. Try to keep your thighs parallel, and notice how your flexibility is feeling versus the beginning of the class. Notice whether it feels more comfortable for you to leave your buns on the floor while you do this, or if you have room and you'd like to, you can lift them up. Not exactly easy with a big old baby bump, so I'll leave that to you guys. 2 more breaths here, just pulling your thighs into your chest. Soften those knees and gently slide your feet down to your Shavasana for today. Find your quiet place. Slow your breath down. And as you lengthen your breath, give yourself permission to let go of all expectations. Give yourself permission to let go of all tension. Give yourself permission to let go of any pain. taking your time. Begin to gently come back to your body, leaving your eyes closed, and just softly, maybe wiggling your toes, or deepening your breath, or rocking your pelvis. Perhaps coming back for you today involves gently moving your head from side to side, or making tiny little shoulder movements. Let yourself explore with soft, gentle swaying, waking up each part of your body with compassion and patience. When you're ready, let those eyes open again. Gently walk your feet in and let your hips rock side to side with windshield wiper legs. And let your knees come all the way over to the left. Open your right arm away from them. Full spinal twist. Finding your breath. And bringing your right leg and then your left leg into your belly to change sides. Twist to the opposite direction. And gently come back center. Placing your feet on the mat. Slide your right leg down and press with your left to come to your reflective pose. Great big breath. And gently walk it up. Hello, everybody. Namaste. Thanks for practice, everybody. Yay, checking out. Sounds good. I'm here if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Wei Wei. Bye, Gabe. Bye, Andy. Bye, Kim.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Chris.
Hi.
Hi, Jean. Wait, who said hi? Is that hi, Jean? It's so good to see you. It's been a while. I love seeing your faces. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
Hi, Allie.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah. Hi, Sam. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Val. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Janelle.
I had a quick question.
Please.
So I'm trying really hard to do the, I'm 10. But sometimes when I do, like from the pad of the finger down, there's like this pain.
Ooh. From your ring finger?
Yeah, often.
Weird. So here would be my guesses because I'm not exactly sure what. That might be a magical moment for you. Right? Everybody's body has some magical moments. When you're pressing your hand out and really spreading,
Mm-hmm.
trying to think if I can, it's possible that you're gripping more with that finger for some magical reason. That's just a guess. You want to feel like there's a space for a blueberry underneath the very center of your palm. So you do want to engage your palm so you're kind of smooshing away from the center a little bit. That might help. I wonder if you feel like your weight is pressing, like rocking out towards the ring finger and pinky more rather than most of the weight should be in the knuckles of the first two digits and the thumb. So like we think about the whole big hand, but really like these three should take a little bit more weight because you're gripping on that edge. Might either of those things be happening? I see you experimenting. That's great. Huh?
You're saying the first 3 fingers should take more?
Yeah, pointer finger, middle finger, and thumb should be that little triangle takes a little bit more weight than on the outside. If you're rocking all the way to the outside, maybe that's causing you to squeeze more there and is firing up more things.
I think it might actually be starting at the wrist because I think it's worse if there's like more wrist pressure.
Then I would say, where's this guy going?
Yeah.
Because that could definitely be rocking you out. If your elbow's falling away from your ribs, that could rock your weight out.
Yeah.
So anchor down, squeeze elbow in. Hi, T.
Yep, that's better.
That's better? Okay. All right, let's experiment with that and see if it pans out well.
Okay.
Hi, Maggie. Any other questions? Hi, Jeannie. It's so nice to see you again. I feel like we missed you for a while. Good, good. Yes, you can Sarah, you can ask me wherever you want.
I drew a little diagram because I don't know if I can.
That's awesome.
Okay. So, when you say square hips, so they're obviously like square, but then when you're on one leg, your balance, your hips, like.
Yeah, they want to counterbalance you.
Is that what you want to do, or is that what you're trying to avoid?
You're trying to avoid. So if you are on 2 legs and you're square and then you take one leg off, your hips are going to try and go like, whoa, right? Just like you showed me. So what we want to try and do to engage our balance more is to swing like the leg that's off the ground. Usually that leg picks up its own hip. And so you want to take your hips away from the weight of the leg that's in the air to get your balance. Let's see if I can find an easy way to demonstrate this. Right, so if I'm standing here and I lift up this leg, my hips want to go with it. But
Mm-hmm.
then I'm counterbalancing. But that's not the goal. The goal is to maintain all of this structurally. And we do that by using your inner thigh to like pull the hip down. And also this muscle on the outside of your hip here, it expands but holds the weight. So it's hanging on out there. So I'm literally like, instead of going up, I'm thinking about dropping the hip down. The same is true when I put that hip back. It wants to go with the hip, but I'm trying to drop it back to square.
Got it.
It's such a good question. Yeah, that's better. Even more.
This is me on my knees. But okay, so instead of this,
Yes. No, you had it the other way around.
this way.
Yeah. So the hip goes away from the lifted leg. Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want?
Yeah, because you want them to stay square. But the hips usually go with the leg you lift without us thinking about it.
So this is okay.
Yeah, you can go too far. So we want to be right square in the middle.
I'm on my knees. That's maybe not the best demonstration. But
It's a pretty good demonstration, actually. I'm impressed. You're doing good.
so
And now, goodbye.
Bye, Allie. I miss you. Yep. That's right, Sarah.
I just have just barely my toes off the ground.
That's fine.
But then
See if you can take it a little bit further away from the lifted leg, like an inch.
what was that?
Take it an inch further away from the lifted leg. Like send your hips to your left side. Yes, not quite so far. Yeah, you're trying to find that middle spot. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's working it. Yeah, that's totally the right idea.
Okay, so it's okay to have them a little bit. It's okay that they're not like you are when you're standing straight. Have them
Yes.
a little bit, okay.
Because the other thing to think about is that your belly button, when you're standing on two legs, is in between
Yeah.
your center line, right? That gap. But if
Yeah.
you're